I go do an interview. This is a sports writer, so I have my people call me up and say, you got a reporter. Meet him at the gym in Phoenix. So I meet him at the gym. I'm talking to the guy. The guy's a really small guy, but really nice guy. I'm talking to him. And so 2 days go by, 3 days go by. I'm in the gym, and the gym is surrounded with cops, like SWAT. They're surrounded. And the cop, sergeant wanted to talk to me. And I said, what the hell did I do? Who ass did I grab last night? I didn't know what happened, but then I said to myself, I'm thinking, hey, if I grabbed somebody's ass, it wouldn't be the feds coming to get me. It would be some rinky-dink cop or some lawyer, you know?
Right.
And so I said...
The ass police.
Yeah. So I came outside, and I was talking to the guy, and he showed me the picture of me and the guy, because it was on his website. And he said, do you know this gentleman? And I said, well, sir, I don't know. When I was promoting a fight, if I must have said something to him, if I offended him, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And he said, no, he liked you, Mr. Tyson. He didn't like the 28 people that he shot and the 8 that he killed.
You got interviewed by a murderer?
Yes. He was the baseline shooter from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona, 2005 to 2006. A series of events will occur that will rain down blood and drive terror amongst the residents of Phoenix. Just brewing in the heart of the city, a duo of killers will form an alliance and lurk in the shadows of the nighttime. Dale Hausner and Samuel Dieteman, two strangers that had not become close friends, will roam in the streets of Phoenix after sunset. Without a care in the world, these two murderers will prey on unsuspected victims and commit a series of drive-bys. Without any witnesses, the Phoenix Police Department would have a hard time tracking these killers. With bodies being littered in the city night after night and no leads on the individuals behind these heinous crimes, Dale and Samuel will acquire the nicknames of the serial shooters, a name that will leave a scar in the state of Arizona. June 29th, Phoenix, Arizona. Detectives are investigating a chain of crimes in the state. Reports of animals being shot and found dead all around the valley are puzzling the detectives. Just in the city of Tolleson, a renter wandering outside their house notices the neighbor's horse lying in the field, bloody. They proceed to call 911. This horse was found with 5 bullet wounds in her and drowned in her own blood, some of these bullets piercing her lungs. This will be one of the first in many animal killings that will soon have this hunter change their diet from animals to humans. That same night, a young man, David Estrada, who was only 20 years old at the time, was planning to meet a friend for a road trip. Unfortunately, David wouldn't even make it out of town. Detectives will receive a call about a body lying on the side of the road. Upon arrival, law enforcement will find David's lifeless body with a bullet wound that ripped straight through his chest. After examining the crime scene, detectives will be left baffled, as they concluded that this murder was no act of robbery, and with little to no clues, this will be just seen as a random act of violence. Phoenix, Arizona, Sky Harbor Airport. A janitor working his regular 9 to 5 with not much going on in life, with only a vision to one day become a professional boxing promoter. Soon will have that dream come to a spiraling end.
Welcome to the best of boxing, everybody. I'm your host, Dale Hausner.
Dale Hausner, an Arizona resident who grew up in Phoenix his whole life, was now a thrill-killing predator. His dreams of being on TV to promote boxing events shall be no more, as he had a more cynical interest in hurting and killing animals and mankind. With the hidden interest of destruction and violence starting from his early childhood, Dale will only use that interest to propel his lust for blood into deadly violent crimes. A journal that was written like a diary was found years later after the crimes Dale committed with the very sick and twisted mindset. Here is one of those logs from his journal, and I quote, "I started stealing and starting fires when I was 9. My one passion was destroying things. I loved it. Breaking windows, slashing tires, spraying bleach on people's clothes while they hung to dry." Now here's one of those journal logs that you can just tell something's definitely not right in this guy's head. And I quote, "The birds that I shot and didn't immediately die were tortured. Others were buried up to their necks in the yard. Sometimes I would put them in a shoebox and microwave them. The smell was horrible, but I enjoyed the end result. Now this would be the activities he would do in his early childhood, but for Del, this wasn't enough. So he acquired a new hobby, drive-by shooting. May 17th, 2005, around 10:40 p.m., a man calmly riding his bicycle in the middle of the night with the destination to bring candles to a family who had no electricity in their home was now a target by a bloodthirsty monster. With no witnesses around and no reports of shots being fired in the area, Tony Mendez is gunned down in a quiet neighborhood with a gunshot wound that went straight through his back. This man is believed to be one of the first human victims of Dale Hausner. But it just doesn't end there. Just a week later, a man peacefully sleeping on a bus stop around 12:30 midnight is shot and killed in his sleep. Reginald, another victim who Dale was suspected of killing. But these two killings will only be the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter which would only leave more victims laying on the asphalt. On December 29, 2005, the Phoenix Police Department will receive a call of a triple shooting in the downtown Phoenix area. 3 people had been shot, all in the same proximity of one another. Unfortunately, 2 of those victims will die. The body of Marco Carrillo will be found next to a building with 2 gunshots that entered his chest, leaving another print of the serial shooter. And just 2 blocks away, investigators would find another body of Jose Ortiz with the same scenario, a bullet that went straight through his chest as a lifeless body lay on the cold hard sidewalk. And the 3rd victim of this triple shooting, Timmy Torde, was shot in the neck, but luckily he will survive the attack. After pulling surveillance footage from all cameras nearby the crime scenes, detectives will unravel footage of a sedan slowly driving on an intersection and then taking off in a panic. Could this be the serial shooter? But the night will not end there, as there will be a 4th victim just before sunrise. Clarissa Rowley, a Marine and a veteran of the war in Iraq. She will observe as his car will slowly creep up on her, and with no idea what will happen next, she will stare down on the barrel of a shotgun. She will survive the attack, but at the cost of a miscarriage, as she will be pregnant and the attack will cause her to lose an unborn child. With so much questions and no answers, the Phoenix Police Department will be left with just a cold case. As a few months pass by, Jeff Hausner, the older brother of Dale Hausner, will introduce Dale to one of his friends, Sam Dieteman. After getting a job, Jeff will slowly stray away from Sam and Dale as he didn't have time to hang out with the pair. But for Dale, this will only be an opportunity for a partner in crime. As the two started to hang out more often, their bond will increase as they shared similar life tragedies like losing their children and both having serious problems in their lifetime. Now, you have 3 serial killers on the loose in Phoenix. Coincidentally, Sam and Dale would both commit their crimes while there was another serial killer on the loose as well, known as the Baseline Killer from Phoenix, Arizona. Mark Godot, a serial killer responsible for killing 9 people and committing other acts of violence and acts on women from their own free will, was terrorizing the town. He operated his crimes during 2005 to 2006, the same time frame that Dale and Sam will be committing their murders as well. So now, you had 3 serial killers lurking at night and terrifying the residents of Arizona. Now that Dale and Sam merged together as a unit, the crimes will only increase more rapidly. The Phoenix police will be more under stress, as now there were a duo of serial killers working as a team. May 2nd, 2006. Claudia Gutierrez is walking home from work in Scottsdale when she is spotted by the killers. And just like the usual routine, the duo pull up next to her and Dieteman engages her with a small gauge shotgun, instantly taking her life. Just another trail with no leads. As more victims will be targeted by the serial shooters, soon the Phoenix Police Department will finally have a lead. After months of chasing a ghost at night, they will finally have a breakthrough, but at the cost of another victim getting injured. Detective Clark Schwarzkopf, one of the main detectives working on this case, will receive a call about a white female, Ashley Armenta, getting shot in the head with a shotgun. At first, you might think of another imprint left from the serial shooters, but miraculously, she will survive the attack. Detective Clark will visit her in the hospital for questioning, and that's when they will get the first clue to this whole situation. Ashley will explain how she will get into an argument with her husband, and then she will proceed to get out of the car that they were in and just walk in the middle of the night. It's during this walk that she will sense someone watching her in the distance, and she will get goosebumps. Out of nowhere, she describes a feeling of all these bees stinging her in the back of the head. That is when she realizes that she just had been shot in the back of the head. A blue 2000 Toyota Camry is what she witnessed driving off after shooting her. As a week went by, Detective Clark will get a call by a person by the name of Ron Horton. Ron, a local biker, will recognize a man from the CCTV footage as his regular drinking buddy, Sam Dieteman. Ron will frequently drink with Sam at a bar called the Stardust. One night, Sam will ask Ron if he ever knew what it was like to kill someone. Sam will tell Ron that he was the one going around shooting people in the valley. With detectives desperate to get any other lead, this will be one hard, cold tip-off that will soon be closer to putting this nightmare to an end.
For more than a year, the Phoenix Police Department has been investigating a series of shootings in the valley that we believe were related.
The summer of 2005 through summer of 2006 was a scary time for people who lived in the valley. The baseline killer, Mark Godot, was raping and murdering women across the Phoenix area, and the Phoenix serial shooters were competing with Godot for headlines.
That same night that Dieteman told Ron that he was a killer was another night that the duos went out hunting. Tragically, they will add another victim to their list, Robin Blasnak. Robin was only 22 years old at the time, and she will sneak out of her parents' house, but then it was all too late as she would be spotted by the two hungry savages. And with no hesitation or no remorse, the duo killers will leave another lifeless body on the cold hard ground. The following night, Ron will arrange a meeting with Sam as an informant for the Phoenix police. As they met up for a couple of beers, Detective Clark will arrange surveillance all around the area to watch over Sam Dieteman. But when Dieteman will arrive at Stardust, the detectives will witness a blue Toyota Camry, the same described car from the night Ashley Armenta will be shot at. As the blue Toyota Camry took off from dropping Dieteman at the bar, the detectives will have to split up. While one team followed the blue Camry, the other stayed at the bar watching over Sam. They will follow the Camry to a large shopping mall called Metro Center. Now, the Phoenix police will be one step closer to finishing this once and for all. Detectives will plant a tracking device on the blue Camry, and after running the license plate on the vehicle, the owner of the vehicle will come back as Dale Hausner. This will be the first time that law enforcement in Arizona will hear that name, not knowing that they will be dealing with another serial killer. As they tail Dell back to the bar and around the city, they soon will end up at the duo's apartment. As the killers reach their destination and into their apartment, they never came out that night. The following day, surveillance was conducted on the apartment, and soon detectives will spot Sam as he will carry a trash bag and throw it out into the dumpster. This trash bag will ultimately put the nail in the coffin. One of the detectives will jump inside the dumpster filled with rotten, reeking and foul garbage just to retrieve this trash bag. At the end of the day, it was all worth it. Inside this trash bag, they will find all the evidence they will need to put these killers behind bars for the rest of their lives. Inside this trash bag was a Phoenix Metro map with red and blue markings of locations where all these murders and shootings had occurred. Also inside this bag was a Dr. Pepper can with a .410 shotgun shell in it. Also found in the bag was the name of Robin Blasnak written in red pen. With all this evidence gathered, the detectives were able to get an emergency wiretap on the serial shooter's apartment. And within those wiretap recordings, they can hear the killers talk about Robin.
Oh my God, she looks familiar. You know, Blasnik?
I think so. I know what, Blasnik?
Phoenix and Mesa police have now officially wiped the shooting death of a young Mesa woman for a serial killer. They've now bringing their total to 6.
Higher than that. What about the guy shot on 27th Avenue in New York? How much you can go back? That's so much fun.
As soon as the Phoenix police heard those wiretaps, they moved in on the killers before another innocent bystander would be killed.
Dale Hausner, wearing nothing but shorts, clearly caught unaware when tactical teams took him into custody Thursday night.
Police arrested Dale Hausner and Samuel Dieteman, charging them as the perpetrators of the serial shooter crime spree.
The serial shooters have finally been caught. After a whole year of fear in the city and a sleepless night that the Phoenix Police Department got, they can finally get a sigh of relief. After their arrest, police did a thorough search through the apartment and found lots of evidence that linked them back to many murders and shootings that happened during the crime spree. Lots of guns, ammo, drugs, newspapers about the killings, personal recorded tapes, and maps on the Phoenix area.
Why I'm here is because I have Sam Dieteman staying with me for about 5 weeks. And apparently at night, Sam had been taking my car out and using various weapons that I have in my house to commit crimes. I hope absolutely not.
Sam Dieteman will get life in prison, and Dell will receive the death penalty. But for Dell, he didn't have the patience, as he would only speed up his sentence by taking his own life in prison. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and like it and leave a comment on what story I should do next. Until next time.